Some glitches are hilarious, while others are incredibly frustrating. If you've ever played a game and you had your whole experience ruined by a glitch, this is the perfect video for you. Somehow, despite putting millions of dollars into their games, developers allow game-ruining glitches to sneak into these games and terrorize gamers for years to come. We're going to throw up a spoiler warning because some of these glitches happen at very specific points in games that you may not have played yet. Before we begin, hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all of our content and ring that little bell to become part of our notification squad so you never miss a video. Without further ado, here are 10 video game glitches that ruin the game. The Delete All Data Gift. Viewtiful Joe 2 Demo. If you were a member of Sony's PlayStation Underground service, you were treated to a free demo CD of Viewtiful Joe 2 back in 2004. It seems innocent enough, but the Viewtiful Joe 2 demo would actually reformat your memory card, deleting every single file on it. The other demos would not be harmful at all, but Viewtiful Joe must have been really angry during the holiday season. It wasn't exactly the best way to introduce the game to the public, and was most likely the main reason for the game's lackluster reception. Players could obviously avoid the glitch by removing the memory card, but that should never be a prerequisite to play a game. We just hope that none of you fell victim to this glitch. If you did, share your story in the comments. Corrupted Saves. Soul Calibur III. Surprisingly, many games on this list are great titles, and Soul Calibur is no exception. Sadly, the game was overshadowed by a game-breaking glitch that may corrupt your save. Somehow, deleting older games from your memory card will trigger a bug that may slowly corrupt your save data. Things would be running fine for a few weeks, and then suddenly, all of your progress is deleted and can never be found again. All those hours you put into the game were completely wasted. Some players have spent hundreds of hours trying to get 100% completion, and we can't even imagine how frustrating they felt after losing everything. We would be pretty salty ourselves. Computer Killer. EVE Online Trinity. We all know there are viruses out there which can take down our computer in a matter of seconds, but is there a glitch that could do the same thing? Well, it turns out that there is. If you played EVE Online and bought the Trinity expansion pack in 2007, you may have destroyed your computer. There was a mistake with a third-party patching software which led to a bug where Boot.ini files would be deleted once the expansion was installed. If you don't know what Boot.ini files are responsible for, they are needed to boot up Windows, which means you will destroy your entire operating system just by letting Trinity load. This glitch goes beyond game ruining. It's system ruining as well. Too many glitches to count. Assassin's Creed Unity. Probably the most unsurprising game on this list is Assassin's Creed Unity. Calling this game a glitch-filled mess is a complete understatement. It is a perfect example of why developers should never rush an upcoming AAA title. Some character models wouldn't render properly, leaving faceless monstrosities and NPCs somehow collapsing into themselves. There are some times where you jump only to be stuck in the air or falling through the floor. There were so many bugs that Ubisoft actually issued a public apology. Ubisoft should have saved their apology because it doesn't change the fact that Unity is one of the worst installments of the Assassin's Creed franchise. On the bright side, these glitches are absolutely hilarious and quite meme-worthy. The Glitching Isles. The Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion. The Shivering Isles was Oblivion's first expansion pack. It was a great bit of DLC, but there was one glitch that prevented players from being able to even complete the game. After playing for dozens of hours, newer items would stop spawning. This is because some scripts used for the expansion's NPCs would use up internal ID codes in the game. These codes would normally be used to form new items, but the expansion exhausted all the disk space for these codes, allowing players to get to a point in the game where new items would no longer spawn. This includes key items necessary to beat the game. A patch was later released to solve the problem, but it was a little too late for some. Not cool, Bethesda, not cool. The Sketch Bug. Final Fantasy VI. Even a long-running franchise like Final Fantasy is not immune to glitches and bugs, the most infamous of which was known as the Sketch Bug in Final Fantasy VI. Realm had a special ability in the game called Sketch. This ability allows her to copy an enemy in order to use the enemy's power against itself. It's very clever, but sometimes things went horribly wrong. If Realm missed her target or tried to sketch something that can't be sketched, craziness would ensue. Sometimes the effects were not too bad. The game might freeze or there may be some graphical glitches, but at worst, the glitches could be game-breaking. Items in your inventory may be duplicated, or the game may crash and delete your save file entirely. Luckily, future ports didn't have the same issue. The Killer Doll. The Sims 3. The Sims 3 is kinda buggy. As we have seen in this list, it happens from time to time. Most of the glitches are harmless or slightly annoying at worst. However, one glitch was a far different story. In 2010, a corrupted file was being spread around the online exchange program, attaching itself to houses, objects, and clothes a player would share with others. The file took the form of a doll. It seemed innocent at first, but it had a tendency to slow down and sometimes crash the game entirely. Eventually, players learned how to delete the doll for good, even though the steps were incredibly complicated. If Einstein was living in the computer age, even he would have trouble removing the doll. Game Erasure. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Blue Rescue Team. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Blue Rescue Team and sister title Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red Rescue Team were the first games released in the Mystery Dungeon spin-off series developed by Spike Chunsoft. These games were each released for a different platform, blue for the DS and red for the Game Boy Advance. Players could insert Mystery Dungeon Red into the DS's Game Boy slot and experience additional features not available in blue, such as being able to encounter Pokemon not available in the other version. This bug was only present in the original Japanese version for some reason. If you put any other game but Red in the Game Boy slot, your save would be deleted. Nintendo quickly sent out replacement cartridges, but it was an absolute mind-boggling glitch. The Barrel of Doom, Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy Kong's Quest. Donkey Kong Country 2 is known as one of the best games in the series and a classic Super Nintendo title. However, it has one of the worst glitches on this list. This glitch is so bad it could permanently ruin your game. The infamous barrel glitch can be done while playing as Diddy Kong in the Castle Crush level. Simply pick up the first DK barrel you find and throw it against a wall. If done right, you'll be holding an invisible barrel, which you could throw to start chaos. Throwing the barrel may cause enemies to glitch out in the background, but it has the potential for much, much worse. The barrel glitch can corrupt the entire game, not just your save file, the entire game. Throwing a barrel can render the cartridge useless. Who would have thought? The Uninstallation Bug. Pool of Radiance, Ruins of Myth Draenor. Sometimes games can break themselves, but it's even crazier when they can break other games as well. This was the case with Pool of Radiance, Ruins of Myth Draenor. Any video game with a title that wordy rarely turns out to be any good, and Pool of Radiance was no exception. It received a mixed reception with complaints about its gameplay. Maybe expecting loads of people to uninstall, Ubisoft left a critical bug in the game's code which deleted several system files if the game was uninstalled. Just like in EVE Online Trinity, uninstalling this game prevented you from loading Windows. Luckily, there was a quick patch to address this problem, but there should never be a game to end all games. We don't even understand how game developers allow these glitches to get into their games in the first place. Do you agree with this list? Do you know of any game-ruining glitches that we may have missed? Let us know in the comments section below. Also, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button to keep up to date with our playlist. Thanks for watching.